General Tumwine was born 1 year and 3 months ahead of me. He was always 1 year ahead of me in school. We were born in Burunga village. I attended Burunga Primary School, where in 1967 we were privileged to be taught by none other than the President of the Republic of Uganda. I returned to that later. We went separate secondary schools, then went to the same A-level school. He was in senior 6, I went senior 5. We shared a decker bed. When I came in, he offered me the lower bed and he slept upstairs. We all went to Makerere and we led different lives to our respective professions. General Tumwine lived a full life. Forget about the age at which he has gone. He appreciated even these, what I would call the few years that he has lived. He was a satisfied man. 3 weeks ago, when we were trying to convince him to move from Lago Hospital to Nairobi Hospital, he told me, I want to die here. I engaged him in that discussion, tried to convince him to move. He refused. I called a number of people to try and convince him. And finally, when pain got the worst of him, he agreed and we moved to Nairobi Hospital. I was fortunate that in the last hour when he was able to talk, we spent 30 minutes together. I want to say that he believed that he had fulfilled his mission on earth. I want to repeat that. He fulfilled his mission on earth. He would always tell us that when he came back from the bush, or when he was in the bush, his biggest wish was to have a family. We don't have to be told by anybody else. Jolie and the children have been a blessing to Elly. Those of you who followed him in hospital, those of you who attended his functions will testify to that. And he's been blessed by having children. As I mentioned last night, about 20 years ago, a common friend, asked him what he loved most. And he said, children. So they asked him, what next after the children? He said, children. And on the third time, he was asked again, what do you love most? He said, children. Other than his family, this man had a very big heart. We were told last night that there were 68 children who were studying from his house on, I think it's Windsor Crescent in Kororo, from 1986 onwards. How many of us have done even 1% of that? And I must say, it didn't start from there. When we were growing up, we were born into deeply Christian revival families. And these people, our parents, undertook to collect children from as far as they could go to bring children and take them to school. So in each home, you would find children of that home and children who had been brought to study from those homes. And I'm not surprised that even when he started working or he became the army commander, he took it up to educate as many people as possible. Last night we were shown PhD holders, master's holders, and we are grateful that he was able to do that. Secondly, General Tumwine took art, fine art, as a profession. One time I asked him, I said, when we were at the university, I said, but what's interesting about art? And his answer, which I've come to realize and to believe, is that the art that he has made, what he has painted, will live after him for the world to see. By that time he told me, he said, who doesn't know Picasso? Who doesn't know Vinci? And who of those people knew who were ruling this world, or the British Empire, or the English Kingdom, or the Japanese Empire at about the same time? He said, art lives after you. If you know him, the way he dressed, if you entered his house, if you look at the shape of his house in Remkoma, 3 stories of fine art. This man believed in art, lived with art, and has left a legacy of art. The third, he had great love for Ankole longhorn cattle. I must point out that General Tumwine did not believe in materialistic things. He, even when he had no money in his pocket, he would tell you he was a very rich man. Akama Zurwe, Umrinyankwe. I believe he has as many herds as the districts in the cattle corridor, maybe up to Nakasongora. And he was always proud of it, and all of you who know his art will see a continuous thread of art in most of his paintings, or cattle art in his paintings. I would call him a cattle-centric. General Tumwine loved the army, UPDF. As civilians watching him from a distance, every time we talked to him, the discussion will always drift towards the army. Your Excellency, you had a disciple for the army in General Tumwine. Let me close my eulogy by thanking a few people. Amidst us is a lady called Rosette Byangoma, who played a very big role in helping with the medical treatment and support to the family. Rosette, wherever you are, please stand up. Thank you. We have doctors, Dr. Moding and Dr. Kuku from the Cancer Institute. If you are here, please stand up. Thank you. We can't thank you enough. Lastly, Your Excellency, there is a great Ugandan whom Dr. Katumba last night said should be given a medal. General Katumba, apologies. That's not my realm of thinking or doing things, but Professor Lule has been wonderful. He received General Tumwine over 3 weeks ago, closed his clinic, attended to him. Even the time he died at 5:45 on Thursday morning, he was by his side. There is a condition that afflicted our friend. The medical team, I'm told it's called the GI department, had tried for 5 days to solve it and had failed. 2 days after we had entered into Nairobi Hospital, Professor Ray did it and did it successfully. Definitely, he does not give back life, but he has done a wonderful job, and Your Excellency, that man must be recognized. To the family, my wife and I pledge continued support to the family as much as our resources will permit, and with that, may the Lord grant Elly lasting peace. Thank you.